December 2020, and it's a very difficult time for many schools and many countries around the world. But we're trying our best. All the teachers around the world are doing their very best. We're bringing the students together through video conferencing, and we would like to start today's session with Rimjim from Bangladesh. Is that right? So, if without further ado, we'll hand that over to presentation from
Bangladesh.
So are you able to unmute?
I'm trying to get it to.
Are you inviting us to present the
Yes,
presentation?
go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we would like you to present first. Are you showing that from your side or Rimjim's side?
Actually, we had a session earlier, and I think that we have presented the PowerPoint, and I think that can we share the previous one? In the previous session, we made a presentation on food for thought, okay? And I think that this session is designed for food for thought. Is it?
Oh, okay. She just came to watch, so that's fine. So go ahead.
Okay, so we'll present first.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with the team with one of the students who have to leave for a doctor's appointment later on. So that would be the COVID-19 team, right? The team that is presenting on the current status of the COVID-19 situation in Taiwan. So we've been doing current reports and updates on our situation in Taiwan. And today's team would like to talk a little bit about that.
Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about Taiwan's response to COVID-19 and its impact on the world. I'm Andrea.
I'm Wei.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Kayla.
COVID-19 impacts Taiwan seriously, like industry shutting down. It really impacts Taiwan's economy, but it actually helped our environment become better. COVID-19 also led to consumption declining because all people's freedom of movement is limited, and there was no buying or consumption behavior. Also, all people's travel history information will be tracked.
So that was in February when there was a little bit of curbing in the industries and also a little bit of movement restriction, but then everything was back to normal almost like right at the end of February as well.
Due to lessons learning from SARS experience, Taiwan is able to deploy early missions like travel limit, border measures, screening, and tracking. CECC take over 124 missions with IT integration. Next slide. And Chen Shizhong, the minister from CECC, gives daily update of confirmed cases that told. At first, people in Taiwan had a lot of bad habits, like panic buying or stockpiling supplies. When you walk into the shop, the shelves there must be basic necessity was almost empty. So CECC made policy to control this situation.
Then how about our public health measures? We always have enough supplies and strict hygiene measures. such as the most necessary supplies, masks. Taiwan's mask rationing plan can allow every citizen to get the mask equally and prevent some people from stockpiling. Besides masks, every drugstore has a supply of alcohol, and they teach us how to make the solution of 75% alcohol too. Then next, the quarantine system. We divide this into two aspects. People who have been in contact with confirmed cases and people who just got back home. Both of them need to be quarantined for 14 days, and their cell phone will be installed an app which can monitor where these people is. So if you don't obey the rule, you may be faced huge fine which can up to 1 million NT dollars. Next slide, please.
Okay, so here you see the new law, the new regulations that was passed in December, and it will be enacted starting December 1st. Well, it has enacted starting December 1st, and the English translation. Here's the English translation. All these places or you can actually see there are public places, public venues. All the places that people go to you will need to be having a mask on. Otherwise, you will be heavily fined.
And we promote hygiene knowledge too, such as the steps of washing your hands. And this is a poster that tells people not to stockpile supplies. It says, each person has only one bath, so we no need to buy too much toilet paper and other bathroom supplies.
Taiwan government recruit the factory that makes face masks to control the price of mask and vendor its production. In addition, the government also allocates 9 masks for each people every 2 weeks to prevent people from stockpiling masks and so that those who need masks can buy them. Next slide. There are over 62 million confirmed cases all over the world, and the students from other countries can go to school. So I think we are so lucky to go to school.
To effectively control the situation of COVID-19 in Taiwan, we set up temperature screening and entry point of all airports and buildings, and mobile tracking. As of December 2, 2020 in Taiwan, we have about 256,000 people tested and about 109,000 people ruled out, and 679 confirmed cases and only 7 deaths. Since the COVID-19 broken out, we didn't have any shutdown. Next slide, please. Also, Taiwan can help and Taiwan is helping. Taiwan has donated over 51 million masks to the countries which is hit by COVID-19. And we also provide technology, supply making equipment know-how to other countries. And we hope we can join the WHO in the future. And the COVID-19 situation will be better. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Do we have any questions from Bangladesh or Turkey? Well, maybe ask this question. How is it different from what you saw here, how is it different in Bangladesh? We'll start with you and then we'll go to Turkey. How are you handling the COVID in Bangladesh? How are you handling COVID in Turkey? Obed, if you could explain what's going on in Bangladesh, and we'll get one of the students from Turkey to explain, that would be great.
I have a question. Can I ask it?
Go ahead.
So my question was, how did the Taiwan's government keep track of the people affected by COVID-19 through the app?
Mary, did you catch that?
No, not really. Did you hear that? If you could you repeat the question? Could you repeat the question? And could you get closer to your microphone? We didn't actually hear much here in Taiwan. Does anyone have a question for us in Taiwan? Or if you would like to share your situation in where, in your country or at where you live?
It's a
Okay, so here's the
question.
question. Yeah, I see it. How do the government of Taiwan keep track of affected people through the app? Anybody can take that question? 怎么用 app 来追踪人？
其实有用，但是没有用。
So from what I know, I believe the government gives you a phone.
The government need to ask the.
Yeah, come to the front. For those who are quarantined, they actually track you and by giving you a phone, right?
If you're the Taiwanese that in other country that's come back to Taiwan, the government will ask you to get an app on your cell phone, and it will check your the GPS. You will use a GPS to check where you are. You need to stay at home, and you need to bring the cell phone with you every time, at everywhere, and you only need to stay at home and wait for 14 days. That's what all Taiwanese government do for quarantine the other Taiwanese came back to Taiwan. Yeah.
Yeah, and, it was that clear. So all those who are returning to Taiwan needs to stay in isolation. They're at a quarantine hotel for 14 days, and you're not allowed to leave that hotel. And so how do we know that you didn't leave your hotel? Well, they ask you to download an app on your cell phone, and people will be checking on you every day. Okay, there will be police and other people checking on you every day. And maybe you would also wonder about the foreigners or the visitors coming to Taiwan. Well, I think there is a limited number of people that can come to Taiwan now.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you do get to enter, our country, they also make you stay at the quarantine hotel for 14 days and observe you, see if you, have any symptoms. And I think there's another rule saying that you also have to have a negative test even before you board the plane, get onto the plane, come to our country. And if you say that you don't have a cell phone to download the app, they will give you a cell phone and make you carry it with you all the time while you're in the 14-day quarantine. I hope that answers your question. You can type in, that's all right, because Rin Jim says her microphone is not working. Okay. Thank you for your question.
That was a very good job, and I really appreciate all the hard work you did on that. That's very interesting too. especially come from a country where COVID's been doing us a lot worse. But the idea of an app, can I ask you a question? Is the idea of an app and the government following you around, is that sound a little bit too big brother intrusion into your privacy or no?
So in your opinion, do you think it's okay for the government to know where you are, at all times?
I think it's okay within that 14 days.
Yeah.
And after that 14 days, you can just delete that app.
She has a point, right, Mike, Mr. Cunningham?
I agree with you. I was just saying at some point, you're free. You don't want to lose all your freedoms for that too. So I can see it's a real hard position. I think we probably will be going to something like that ourselves, and there are a lot of people really upset about it.
Yeah, it's a lesser evil, I would say.
Thank you so much, and thank you again. Very good job. I think we have some kids from Turkey want to present too, and I'm fixing to leave to go to school, so I will join you in a little bit.
Yes, of course.
Going out the door. So if you could control this, I appreciate it, Mary. I got you as co-host. And then we'll just alternate with the other two groups that you have and the kids from Turkey. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will have Turkey up right now. Turkey, which team or which student would like to present first? Let me know. Turkey, are you on? Turkey, is anybody presenting now? Is anybody from Turkey with us right now?
I think they are having some technical problem, and I can share about the experience of tracing the COVID people in my country. Shall I share my experience?
Okay, so I think that there is a problem with Google worldwide right now. I think it sort of crashed. So if you have a PowerPoint slide that you want to share, perhaps it has to be offline. And if you cannot share from your site, you can send it to me here. I think we can also use the chat box to send the file. And I can show it from my side, or I don't know if you have the control to show it from your side. Shall we present first if, while we're waiting for other sides to resolve their issue? Maybe? Okay, so while we're waiting for other sites to resolve the issue with Google Drive or I don't know, whatever it is. I think YouTube is down too, is also down. Yeah. Things are crashing. Okay, so yeah, we'll just go ahead with our presentation and leave a message in the chat box if you're ready to present, and we'll move over to you right afterwards. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, we're students from Affiliated High School of Zhongxin University. I'm Bella.
I'm in.
I'm Alan.
I'm Sammy. Today's topic is celebration food. Taiwanese burrito. Qingming is also called Touching Festival. On this Twin Sweeping Day, everyone will go out and enjoy spring blossoms. The actual Twin Sweeping Day is on April 4th. In Chinese traditions, spring roll, which is like Taiwanese burrito, is an essential food for after worship. According to historical record, the Taiwanese burrito custom and origin came from China in honor of an upright and honest businessman Jie Zhitui during Chunqiu period. Afterward, people would only consume cold porridge and dry pastry, and the firework is strictly prohibited. This festival was originally called Cold Food Day and evolved into the custom of eating Chinese burrito.
Next, we are going to teach you how to make Taiwanese burrito. Prepare 4 slices of Taiwanese burrito wrappers, 2 sausage, a quarter head of cabbage, 1/3 of carrot, 6 to 8 slices of dry tofu, 1 pack of bean sprout, 1 or 2 eggs, 2 garlic sprouts, 2 cloves of garlic, some cilantro, and some peanut powder. Now we can start to make Taiwanese burrito. First, shred the cabbage and carrot, and then stir fry them, and add some salt to season. Second, saute minced garlic until it turns aromatic. Then put shredded dry tofu into the pot. Add some salt or pepper, and stir fry them until the colors of the dry tofu change. Third, cut sausage and put the slices into a pan. Stir fry them with garlic sprouts. Fourth, blend bean sprouts in boiling water and quickly remove them from the pot. Add a little salt and mix well. Fifth, place the Taiwanese burrito wrapper on a plate and put cooked ingredients on top of wrapper. Sprinkle peanut powder and put the cilantro on the top of the ingredients. Finally, carefully fold and wrap a wrapper with ingredients inside. Then, the delicious Taiwanese burrito is ready to serve.
Taiwanese burrito is a traditional food in which you put peanut powder, cabbage, meat, and bean sprouts into burrito wrappers. It tastes both sweet and salty. Sweetness comes from peanut powder, and the salty taste comes from meat and vegetables. Also, it is a little crunchy. All these 3 flavors fuse perfectly and become a special combination. There is a large variety of filling, The ingredients were affected by regional and eating habits. For example, some people transformed Taiwanese burrito into a dessert by putting fresh peanut powder and 2 scoops of ice cream inside. This is the best choice on a hot summer. Once you try different kind of Taiwanese burrito, you'll be addicted to it.
Many people confuse Taiwanese burrito with spring rolls. Even Taiwanese people. What's the difference between them? First of all, Taiwanese burritos consist of wrapping, cooked fillings, or ingredients. We roll them up and enjoy them directly. Spring rolls are wrapped in ingredients and then fried in a pan. Because they are fried in a pan, they will be smaller in size than Taiwanese burrito and have a flat cylindrical shape. In addition to general local snacks in Taiwan, they are also a common dish for customers in Taiwan in restaurants. Thanks for listening. Do you have any questions?
So that's our part for celebration food in Taiwan. And if you have questions, you're welcome to unmute your mic and then ask these presenters your question. So we have a question from Rinjim of Bangladesh. How is burrito wrapper made? Anybody?
Flour.
Flour?
Rice powder.
Rice powder? Which one is it? 春卷的 flour. Okay, so we have an answer. It's glutinous rice, sticky rice. It's a kind of rice, and it is grinded and made into very thin wrapper. Okay, and Mr. Gondor says great presentation. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions, or if you have questions for other sites, you can also, presenters can also ask questions. You can ask other people questions too.
So do you guys have similar burritos in your country?
Okay, so do you also have burrito type food in your country? Okay, before anybody answers that, there's another question. Is the peanut powder homemade? 花生粉是家里自己做的吗？
No.
No.
We go to
It come from
we buy
At a
market.
store?
Yes.
Market?
Market.
Okay. So is it just ground peanuts, or does it have other things inside?
Probably some sugar as well.
Okay, so within the peanut powder that are sold in stores, there's rounded peanut plus sugar, right? Okay. Thank you for the question. And we were wondering if you also have burritos in your country. Anybody with a question or an answer to our question? And if you can unmute your mic, and we will see if we can hear you. So in Bangladesh, they say they do not call it burritos, but they have a similar type of food called pita, P-I-T-H-A. Sounds interesting. You can write that down. PITHA. We can look it up later. PITHA. Okay, that sounds interesting. So I think we're having some audio problems with some sites, so they can only type. Okay, so the pizza is made during the winter season, and it is mainly a sweet dish. Sweet. Okay. If we can ever travel to another country like Bangladesh, maybe we can try this food. It sounds very interesting and yummy. Okay, so if there are no questions for us, then we will see if we can move on to the next presentation. So Turkey, are you able to resolve your issues? Or is anyone from Turkey presenting today? You can type into the chat box and let me know. If not, that's okay as well, because some of us are here as a guest to observe. And I also want to mention that we have I have another session. I have a speaker from another country coming to present on climate change and its impact on marine ecology. And so tomorrow at 9:30 GMT, it's an earlier hour session. You're welcome to join us. I will announce that on my Facebook page later on. And we should be interacting with the speaker as well as students around the world and exchanging ideas. Okay, so pizza actually told us, well, Rim Jim told us that pizza is a sweet dish and her grandmother makes them. So yeah, okay, nice. PITHA, yeah. Okay, so a student told us that they're not presenting today. So I guess we'll move on to our final presentation from Taiwan. And we will be talking about our healthcare system, especially the health insurance. So a lot of people are asking about, the insurance systems and how it is carried out in Taiwan. So our students have made a special presentation just on this. And we will start right away.
Hello, everyone. We are students in affiliated high school of Chongqing University. My name is Sam.
My name is Howard.
My name is Brian.
We are going to talk about National Health Insurance of Taiwan. After preparing for many years, National Health Insurance of Taiwan was carried out officially in 1995. And the people with insurance had been about 92% for 1 year. People just need to pay a little registration fee and they can enjoy the service of very good medical treatment. Take myself for example.
That's your insurance card, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, yeah, and what?
Once I had got a serious cold that developed into sinusitis for 1 month, and my mom took me to a clinic. The doctor prescribed some medicine for me and told me that I needed to pay for the medical expenses out of my pocket. Ever since, I understood that not all of the medicine is included in National Health Insurance. I sometimes forget to bring my health insurance card, but I just needed to, but I just need to pay a deposit of $880 at the counter. And I can swipe my insurance card to get the deposit money back afterwards.
So, although the Taiwan's health insurance is famous all around the world, it still has some defects. So next, I'm going to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of health insurance. The first one is different incomes need to pay different insurance premium. That means the rich need to pay more insurance premium to the insurance system. So the disadvantaged group in the society can have access to the medical resources. The second one is it can encourage people to see a doctor. And thanks to the health insurance, the medical fee that pay in Taiwan if you need to see a doctor is quite low. So the rate of seeking medical help in Taiwan is quite high. Next, let's talk about the disadvantages of health insurance. To prevent bankruptcy, the subsidy in medical bill is limited. That means the doctor cannot prescribe the best medicine for the patient to cure their disease. And also, the health insurance has a system called medical checking. That's problem caused about the personal privacy problem. So this is a big issue for discussing. Next slide, please.
Next, organize the reason that lead to the lack of medical resources and fund of insurance. From doctor point of view, due to the policy, fee for service in healthcare, which means the doctor's pays are according to the service the doctor provides. So the more treatment and medical resources the doctor use, the more pay the doctor gets. These cost waste of fund and resources. For instance, due to the data, every 14 times of using computed tomography, 1 time are not necessary, so it's waste a lot. Next slide. Next, let's talk about from the patient's point of view. There are three reasons that lead to the lack of medical resources. First, medicines are cheap, so it is easy to store away medicine to take every time they feel uncomfortable. But second, the reason is people think that medical centers technologies are better than small hospitals. So they just call the code, but they go to the medical centers to see the doctor. Third, to some elder, they go to hospital just for getting attention, not to see the doctor. Because their family sometimes is broke. Their son and daughter are died. So go to a doctor is the easy way to get attention. So insurance, how can we improve this problem? To doctor, we can remain them use medical resources casually, and it can be used just when it is necessary. To patient, we need to remind them not to store medicines and not to go to hospital just for attention. That's all for our reports. Do you have any questions?
If you have questions, you are welcome to ask them right now. And for those who are hoping to add to friend me, this is my, okay, let me see if that's clear enough. Okay, this is my Facebook page. Sorry, I think Google is down in Taiwan and in Poland from what I've heard. And so it's probably difficult to download anything to transmit through this Zoom chat. So that's, yeah. Okay, so here's a question. Is there any age limit to get a medical insurance? 有没有年龄限制?
Not really. If you're a citizen in Taiwan and you can get the national health insurance, the government will count you in if you pay the insurance premium. So all the citizens in Taiwan can use this rights of the medical resources.
Okay, so even babies have
Yes.
insurance,
When
right?
you're born in Taiwan and you become a citizen in Taiwan, then you will have this special and medical resources service in Taiwan. Yes.
Yeah. So that's, yeah, one of our benefits, I guess. Very good benefit. Yeah, good question. And thank you, Ms. Gondar, again. Any other questions? So we thought that it would be a variety to try out for our food for thought sessions starting this year. So from months September, October, November, and through December, in addition to the food themes each month, we have an additional SDG number 3, which is good health and well-being, a sustainable development goal of the UN. And we incorporate that into our food for thought sessions. And so starting from, let's see, I didn't memorize this, from January, February, and March, we will incorporate SDG number 10, which is reduced inequalities, into our food for thought sessions. So in addition to presenting on food, we can also talk about human rights, the inequalities in various areas, for example, racial inequalities, gender inequalities, sexual orientation inequalities, income inequalities, different kinds of inequalities around the world. So if you are interested in presenting and sharing, feel free to contact Mr. Cunningham or contact me. We would love to have students around the world present from your home. Because it is a very chaotic time. This year it's been very hard for most people, and we would like to help in any way that we can. So, any other questions that people would like to ask us? Because Mr. Cunningham has not yet arrived at his school. He has been doing this. It's very, nice of him to start the session from his home, and then he quickly rushes to his school and continues the session. So I'm the bridge in between, and I will try to host and also let people in at the same time. So one interesting thing that we found through the end of November till the beginning of December was that most students, were schooling from home. It's not homeschooling, but people are doing the Zoom sessions, and the very few schools that we see with students, actually on site, physically taking lessons with their classmates were students in Taiwan, in Vietnam, in Croatia, parts of Canada, in certain parts of Canada, certain parts of Poland, and some parts of Spain, right?
Yes, Spain and Italy.
Were they at school in Italy?
Oh,
I don't think so. It's Spain.
Students.
Were they at school?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure about Italy because we did connect to Italy last week or the week before that. Yeah. And but we it's very sad to see that most people are isolated at home. Okay, so I will show my Facebook again. Let's see. And while okay, here it is. So it's Mei Shi. For some reason, that was the account that got logged in. When I was a very, quite a rookie trying my way around to apply for the Facebook account, I tried different names and only this one got in, and the others bounced out. So yeah. And we got our Google back in Taiwan. It was down for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 1 hour. Okay. Yeah, Google was down for 1 hour, about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. And we could not get anything from there. Could not retrieve a thing, and I couldn't log in. It's a good thing we downloaded our presentations ahead of time. Otherwise, it was going to be a disaster. Students were going to be talking from nothing. Yeah, YouTube was down too. We saw that too. Thank you, Green Jim. Okay, so anybody would like to type into the chat or open up their mic to talk, you're welcome to do so. If you would like to sit down, yeah. So thank you, Miss Gondor. I have you on Facebook too. So is any site ready to say anything or present anything before we end our session today? Okay, here's a question. Are citizens interested to follow the hygiene rules during the pandemic in Taiwan? So so you can think of it this way. So how did everyone feel about the rules from February until now? How do you feel? Oh yay, the rules. Oh no, the rules. Okay, so how do most people feel? Because in some countries like the US, people have mixed feelings. Some are quite strongly opposed to strict rules, and some people think, yeah, well, we have to sacrifice part of our freedom, blah blah. Okay, so yeah, generally, what do you think about the people in Taiwan? How do they feel? Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's at first absolutely has some voice or fight against this policy for the hygiene rules. But when 1 month, 2 months pass away, when we see other countries that get a serious or hard damage in the pandemic, but Taiwan was held in this situation, so the other citizen will follow these rules, because we see we did a great job on the pandemic period. So that's why people in Taiwan can more and more as these rules, because we have a good experience at first. So the other citizens which didn't allow these laws at first will get scared, surprised about that. That's how can Taiwan do that? And plus other countries like BBC or CNN's other news channels all around the world is not only congratulate and also praise Taiwan's do on the pandemic hygiene rules. So people in Taiwan has more confidence about it to follow these rules. Yeah.
Thank you, Howard. That was what he said was all true. And actually, when the government was trying to decide whether or not to shut down, flights from other countries, like in late December last year and early January, there are a lot of opposition from, I don't know, people and the opposition party. People were saying that you're crazy and you're overreacting was the most, comments. And but it's a very good thing that the ruling party stuck to their rules, stuck to their principles, and insisted that the flights be canceled, and we were shutting down flights from, especially first of all from China and then from other countries. So that first wave was actually the key element in our holding our fort for so long. Since we had it all shut down, we had a very clean environment, and so people on this island were COVID free. And so for all the numbers that are going up, they're all imported cases. So in other words, people who have been in Taiwan for a long time, or have lived here all our lives, we're not the ones getting it, but the ones that are adding to the number of COVID cases for Taiwan are the ones that are coming back from other countries, and those are not the local cases. So there's no community spread, and that we owe it a lot to the very early preventive measures. So yeah, Howard was saying that because people saw the success, of how the pandemic was under control, then there weren't any other voices saying that no, we don't want this rule. Okay, people are obedient now because yeah, a little bit of sacrifice, and we get to all be safe, and we get to get our lives going. Yeah, that also says a lot. Thank you. Do you have any more questions? Mr. Hossein, you're back.
Yes, thank you very much. That it is a very good sign that your people are very concerned about the COVID situation. As a result, we have got a positive feedback. There is a 0 case in your country, and we are very hopeful that you are getting such type of wonderful result. But what about the vaccine? Are you interested to get the vaccine for the common people?
Do you know about our vaccine? Email. How are we getting our vaccine? Does anyone know about the vaccine? Because we've heard a number of versions, and some countries are now. We are going to purchase some vaccines. We're also developing our own vaccines, but we're not 100% sure that it's 100% safe. So we're also, I guess, we're on the observant period. So we're not getting anybody to take the shots yet. So there aren't any people. There isn't anyone taking the vaccines yet, right? Yeah. So because we're at least we're having it safe here. Nobody's taking any vaccines yet, and nobody's 100% sure that which vaccines are safe. I mean, the ones from other countries or the ones from we're developing. Yeah. There's still a lot of things that people aren't sure yet. Uncertainty. Yeah. Thank you for your question. You want a question? Yeah, you want to ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a question.
From other countries.
Do you think COVID has a good impact in the global warming climate crisis issue? What do you think?
Me.
Anybody? Yeah. So has COVID done any good for the environment? In Taiwan? Not in Taiwan. Too bad. The people in Taiwan are all about roaming around, so they didn't do COVID-19 didn't do much good for the environment in Taiwan. How about in other countries?
中国雾霾比较少，那时候中国雾霾有减少。
Okay, so yeah. What anybody want to? I've been talking too much. It's your turn to talk. Yeah.
First is the pros. Because of COVID-19, so China's factory I think most of the factories in China didn't
We're shut down.
were shut down. So the PM 2.5 from them will not come to our country because nearly to the spring and I think it's winter, there will have China will have the PM 2.5 and
So the PM 2.5 is the particulate matters, the very small particles in the air that travels all the way to Taiwan. It blows across. So yeah, that's what you were referring to, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that has decreased, right? Yeah.
and also the counts of the surgical mask because everyone's wearing surgical masks. So the recycle of the surgical mask is a problem because someone won't recycle them properly and they just throw the surgical masks on the road. So that's a problem of our environment. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. She says it answers the question. Okay. Anybody else with a question? So we read in our articles, like in magazines, English magazines, it says that a lot of animals are coming out because of the anthropos, right? The human activity stopping.
Yeah.
So like I've seen like turtles coming onto the beaches to lay eggs,
Yeah.
deer, and what kind of animals? Fox are all coming out from the forest and wandering on the streets of some countries. Yeah, so yeah, probably those are the good impacts that have come from COVID-19. I mean, some animals get to take a break and get back to their natural settings. Okay, so here's another interesting question from Rinjin. What do you do with the COVID medical waste? COVID medical waste. Do we have a lot of COVID medical waste in Taiwan? We don't have any much COVID. Probably just surgical masks, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The most COVID medical waste that is produced in Taiwan is probably the surgical mask. So I'm not sure what we did with them. Did we just dispose of them?
We will reduce them by just something.
So we yes. Or would you like to disinfecting the surgical mask?
Actually, for the COVID-19 medical waste is the surgical mask. And in Taiwan, we will reuse the masks again and again, and we will disinfect them so we can reuse them.
So there are a number of ways to disinfect them. For example, I think some will put them into ultraviolet ray machines, those that disinfect the usual other stuff. And also with the, I think some people were steaming, right? Steaming the mask, right? Okay, and some were in the, I don't know, sort of not baking it, but with high temperature, they were sterilizing the mask. So the disposable masks were actually used again to decrease the number of, garbage. Yeah. And also to save the mask, the medical supply. So here's another question. What about the zoo animals during the pandemic? I think because we have everything normal, the zoo animals are still zoo animals as usual in Taiwan. Maybe in other countries, right? I think we saw some articles saying that some animals are starving in zoos because nobody's there to take care of them. I don't know. We
Not really. Like I have read a news from Japan that the workers still go to the zoo and take care of the animals in the zoo. So I think we don't have to worry a lot about the animals in the zoo because there will be someone taking care of them.
but since there is no lockdown in Taiwan, that is not a problem in Taiwan.
Yes, and there's also tourists will go to our zoo and yeah, there's still tourism in our zoo, so it's not a big problem. Thanks for your question.
Any other questions? Anybody with a question or comment? Has Mr. Cunningham returned to school or arrived at school? Okay, yeah, Rin, Jim, you have a question? Perhaps you can. So if you just tuned in, we're food for thought session for December, celebration food, and also SDG number 3, the sustainable development goal of well-being, good health and well-being. And you've just heard presentations from students in Taiwan. We presented on celebration food, as well as the COVID-19 situation in Taiwan, and also the health insurance system in Taiwan. And if you have questions, you're welcome to open up your mic right now and talk to us, or you can type into the chat box. And if there are no other comments and no other sites presenting, we will end the session in about 5 minutes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for the great presentations. I really enjoyed listening to our students, to the future leaders. And I would like to take the video and show it to my students in Lebanon so that they can make something similar to what you are doing. Very proud of you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I thought you were from Turkey. Okay, you're from Lebanon. Excellent. We will absolutely share the video with you.
We are in Lebanon, but we're facing problem that our students are no more sitting together like as I can see in this classroom. The class is divided into 2 groups. Just half of the group come to the school for a week and the others stay at home. And then the other week they come. So we feel that we missed the time that the Taiwanese students are sitting together and learning together like this way.
Oh, that is very unfortunate. I've heard all kinds of alternating classes. Like one country said that half come in the morning and then half come in the afternoon. And then another country said that one comes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and the other comes on Tuesday, Thursday, and then Monday. And then because there are 5 days a week, it's very hard to keep track of who's coming, on certain days. So it is very confusing. Yes, we understand that. Mr. Cunningham, you're back with us. Yeah, but you're muted. Let's see if we can unmute you.
Okay. Yeah, I had a little traffic, but we got here.
Wow, you are masked up and with a very huge visor.
Yeah, this is what we have to wear to school now. That and a mask and
Wow.
Oh, wow.
crazy, huh?
Does it get in the way? I mean, your visor?
Well, if you want to see anything, I guess it does get in your way. I don't know, you know. Like I said, I just look straight ahead toward the computer screen and try to teach like this. So it's a very a safe feeling, we'll put it that way.
Huh.
Remember, we are being recorded, so I want to say everything really positive.
Yeah, this is really, I mean, I can just imagine, I mean, yeah, staring at the computer screen and then through the plastic shield, and then sometimes there are reflections and everything.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's very glaring, I'll put it that way.
Oh.
And it's really hard to clean. I guess I don't really have to have it on right now since I don't have any kids, but it's very, very hard to clean. And with these fluorescent lights that we have, it's very difficult to keep the glare off.
Huh.
How's our good friends in Lebanon doing?
Miss Gandar was just speaking to us.
Okay, good. And did the people in Turkey present?
No, they didn't. They didn't have presentations today.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I guess we waited. Did the people in Lebanon have presentation or no?
No, but we interacted with them. That was good.
Good. And the people in Turkey spoke with you too?
They typed into the chat box.
Okay.
And Rim Dream did a lot of, interaction, and she was very good with the questions too.
Oh,
Excellent
good.
Excellent job for her. I mean, she's real good critical thinker.
Oh, that's very good. See, they're out of school. They're hoping to get back to school. They'll be out almost a year by the time they get back. So you guys in Taiwan are really, really lucky.
Yeah, and that's why I think I was just saying we should shoulder, at least some of the responsibilities for carrying on the program so that we can, at least present what we've learned, share what we've learned and pass it on to other schools. I mean, yeah, it's the least that we can do.
Oh yeah, I mean, we used to laugh when we saw one or two of you guys wearing masks a couple of years ago, when you were sick. And now we have to have more masks than anything, and we don't even have people in school.
Yeah, I was just telling that to the other countries that people thought we were crazy at the beginning of the year. They thought we were overreacting, and so our government, our ruling party was getting shouted at, yelled at for being crazy and overreacting, but they did it anyway. I would say they're actually trying to stay on the safe side and gambling with their future careers, because if it turned out that they were overreacting, it was the end of their career. But it's a good thing that they stuck to their principles. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're doing a really, really credible job. I just hope that we don't forget how credible a job you guys performed for so many years with our new administration.
I think I saw another question here. What do you think about COVID's effects on our lives after COVID? Okay, so I'm Michael, would you like to answer that first? I mean, what do you think are the COVID effects after this COVID thing is over?
Oh, okay. A couple things, I think. One, I think we'll look at medicine a whole different way. We're rolling out 2 or 3 different vaccines in the next couple of weeks. I'm not so sure that we've never rolled out vaccines as fast, so I don't know what the after effects or effects are going to be. It's going to be kind of amazing. From an educational standpoint, we're going to have somewhere between 1.5 years and 3 years worth of education that'll be pretty much non-existent for a lot of people. I also teach for an online, for my part-time job, I teach online at another place. And they have developed a very strong online program. In fact, I have a couple students from Taiwan doing online with me in that class. And I think that this will be the delivery method of the future. I see that if we go down 10 years from now, that some of the stuff we've been doing, maybe with Zooms and different things, are going to be very commonplace. But I see that the traditional mortar and brick high school is going to be, it's going to run some real big competition. For probably the last 20 years or so, we've had homeschool. We've had homeschool in the United States for a long time. Until about a year ago, people would just laugh at you if you graduate from a homeschool, and they look at you really bad, and the colleges wouldn't accept you and stuff like that. Since then, colleges have gotten into homeschooling, and I would assume that they're going to give regular traditional schools a run for the money. In our state, our property taxes that pay our school, and the property taxes have gotten so high that people just can't really afford. Now, if you don't own a house, you still pay a property tax, because whoever you rent from, they'll charge you the money itself. So they're going to have to do something with funding, and the only way to really do funding is for schools to cut down costs. And about 80% of the costs have to do with payroll. So they're really going to have to cut down to like building usage and stuff like that. So some have gone to some real creative things, like maybe meeting school 3 or 4 times a week, but 12 hours a day shifts. Cut down transportation. Well, this cuts down transportation completely. So I think twofold. Number one, I think it's going to change how we look at school. The outcome for students is that they will have to probably play a lot of catch up when they ever do come back. I think we'll change our curriculum to be more online friendly, and online will be the bigger presence than the traditional classroom of the past. What do you think, Mary?
Yeah, I think, yeah, the first thing that I guess because we're teachers, our impact, the biggest impact would be on education and how we, lead the kids. Like, in the past, well, let's say when the situation was, rising from February, March, the education board, the Ministry of Education had every school get prepared for a full shutdown. So for all the teachers who had never wanted to learn anything about online, or video conferencing things, we were actually, well, not me, we are in video conferencing for so long, but all schools around the island of Taiwan were forced to learn some sort of video conferencing, skill, so that if any class or any school gets a shutdown, then they will be taking classes from home, and every teacher was to be able to teach every class from home. And so we have this plan B, plan C, when, if something gets very serious, we also have it, that all prepared. So I don't know, I guess we're just trying to stay one step ahead, but then this becomes, the phenomena worldwide. So so right now we're thinking that in the future, there is no way that we're going to get back 100% to the way we were before. And so, like you said, most of the time we will have to rely on online teaching and distance education.
Yeah, I found out through different processes here, after looking at 2 sides of this online, that trying to teach online like we teach in the classroom is very counterproductive. Online has to be a whole different methodology, and it could be enhanced by doing stuff like this, which I do believe. But, it's very difficult to just teach virtually the way we were, and that's pretty much what we got sunk into in March. We were just trying to do our lessons like we're doing our lessons here, and you can't really do it like that. So there's a big learning curve. I think it'll happen. And I'm kind of interested in Lebanon. Can you tell us a little bit about what they're doing in Lebanon? Are you guys in school, or I think you're out of school, aren't you? Then maybe talk about Turkey, see what's going on there. Bursa. Right? Can you hear me? I have a lot of, I know a lot of people from Lebanon. I don't know if I ever shared with you, but I go to a church that's basically made up of people from Lebanon, and it's Maronite, and they have a lot of relatives there, but they say power is intermittent, you know, and it's very difficult to have online learning when you don't really have electricity all the time, or, you know, powers can go on and off, and they have, you know, they've had some crazy experiences in the last couple months with some big explosions in Beirut, I know. How about one of the students from Bursra? Can you tell us a little bit about how you think education's changed in Bursra? If not, Mary, I really appreciate you doing this for us today. And I know it's getting really late there in Taiwan, because you're like at 8:15, 8:17, aren't you, at night?
Oh, it's 9:17.
9:17.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, wow. And yeah, we're carrying on our lives as usual.
Well, that's good.
When we're going out to take a bus, we have to have our mask on. We're going to the supermarket, we have to have our mask on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we come to, you know, it's like we're family here because we meet every day. So, and we're safe, so we can, you know, go without masks. They're not mandatory if we're meeting the same group of people every day for so long. Yeah, so it means that, you know, it's like family. When you go home, you don't have to wear masks with your family members.
Well, see, there's some people in the States are trying to make people wear masks even at home.
That's strange.
Well,
because if how are you going to wear a mask if you're eating? I mean, you know.
Well, that's a large problem, and that's why they wanted to shut down all restaurants, and we've had all restaurants shut down for a long time, and then they let them open up, and now they're trying to shut those down again. So there's a lot of people really upset because there's a whole nother angle of this. I know I'm very active in church, and they were in some places you can't meet at church, you can't meet in restaurants, you can't do anything, and it still hasn't really impacted the amount of spread. I mean, in other words, if you stop doing everything completely and just sat at home, there's still going to be a certain amount of people are going to be getting sick. I mean, it's not like you're going to stop the virus by completely.
You know how we do it here with the restaurants? Even we even have buffets right now, but you put on your mask, you get your food, you can't talk. No talking while you're getting your food. You have to have your mask on, you get your food, you go back to your seat, and then you can take off your mask and eat your meal.
Wow.
Yeah. So they are taking a lot of precautions at restaurants as well. So if you're, interacting or you're close to people you're not in contact with every day, you have to have your mask on. So yeah, everybody follows this rule, then we're all safe.
Yeah. Now, the holidays are coming up. When is New Year's this year for Lunar New Year?
I think it's like February 11th, somewhere around there.
Okay.
10 or 11.
And that's got to be a big spreading opportunity for. Are they talking about shutting down a lot of things that you can't travel and stuff for New Year's?
Well, I like what the students presented. For the COVID-19, we have stricter rules beginning December. And so, mask on everywhere you go that you will get in contact with strangers or people you don't usually come into contact with. And also, like I said, at restaurants, when you're not eating, you have your mask on. You're buying things, you have your mask on. You're at the hospital, anywhere, at the park, you have your mask on. And are they shutting down any flights during New Year? Well, not yet. They're not shutting down any flights yet. But like we said, anyone that comes into Taiwan right now, whether you're a Taiwanese resident returning from another country, or whether you're one of the very few foreigners that can get into Taiwan, you will be quarantined for 14 days, period.
Wow.
And also they would make you take a test, and only if you are negative, then you can board the plane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and then even with your negative test, you come in and you quarantine for 14 days, you cannot get anywhere. The students were saying you will carry a cell phone with an app that will let people know that you are quarantined in that, quarantine hotel. You will not be allowed to go anywhere. You're just, inside that hotel for 14 days until proven that you are, it's like you're proven you're not guilty. You're proven you're not,
Yeah. You're guilty until prove
not
yourself
contagious.
innocent.
and then say, and proven you're not contagious, then you're, out and about and free. Yeah.
Now, well, how's that impact the tourism business there in Taiwan?
How is tourism? Oh, really? Oh, wow. Tourists also have to be quarantined for 14 days. So I guess no short-term holidays here now. Yeah, you have to be here for a long period. Otherwise, it would make any difference. Make any sense. You're coming here to be, quarantined for 14 days if you're only here for, a few days holidays. So I guess only people coming here to either work or for the long-term studies, then yeah, you will apply to this. Yeah.
Now, has it impacted your attendance at all at school?
A what?
Has it impacted your attendance at school?
Attendance rate? No, not at all. None.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's here.
So that's our school. We haven't had a good attendance since like in March. Well, you have a choice. You can go remote or virtual, or you can come in class. Our in-class attendance is maybe 50, 60%, and our virtual attendance is probably just a shade better. So I always have people missing for one reason or another. I don't know, but we have a tremendous amount of our students who work, and a lot of times they have to help support the family. So, or else they're babysitting because the parents cannot take their little children, their little brothers and sisters to daycare and stuff anymore because of, different things. So they have to, they're basically becoming adults at a very young age. So we're seeing some really interesting phenomena.
I know that a lot of students are taking classes from home, and it probably, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but it's probably gonna get, sometimes gonna get boring, I guess, to them. So I'm thinking that maybe we can provide sometimes, I don't know, a variety of other sorts of things to present to them, and maybe it can be like something that is suitable for the whole family. So even if moms come in with the babies, if they're muted, it's something that the whole family can watch. Otherwise, the children are gonna, the students and the children are gonna go without education, and that's bad all over the world.
So I'm actually thinking like, these Zoom conferences like what you're doing and some other things, you could be teaching 4 languages from all over the place. There's all kinds of ways you could really augment this to make it a much better situation.
And we can do some entertaining, entertaining programs too, so that, there's a lot of visual, impacts and visual.
It'd be nice if you knew a magician. A magician would be kind of fun. There's some, occupations and some other things. It'd be kind of interesting to be able to talk to. I would even like to talk to some politicians or some scientists, because I still have some reservations on what the cure is. The cure is what they're saying. The cure is really going to help us out. That app idea sounds really good for 14 days, but if they extend that for a long period of time, or it could be very detrimental to people's individual freedom.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. We'll try to make this, as much as more interesting as it can be, and a variety of things to watch and listen to. Try to make it more entertaining for students of all ages, especially nowadays. I think people have shorter and shorter attention span. From my observation, it's very, I don't know, because we're dominated by these, media things that, you know, it just pops up. We just slide it away if we don't like it. And people's attention span are getting shorter and shorter. So I think we'll have to come up with ways to make education or viewing us more interesting so that they go stay tuned.
Yeah, you're probably right. I really do appreciate everything you've done today, and thank you so very much. Is there any comments from any of the people from Turkey or Lebanon? I know we're trying to start about celebration food, and I wish the people in Lebanon would have talked about some celebration food because they got some really, really good food.
Yeah. Well, I can send you. I can send you the content from the chat room.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Because
That'd be good. I should get it. I should get. I'm recording it, so I should get it anyways. But that would be.
With the recording, do you have the chat?
Yes.
Box? Can you see
the chat? I can get all the text from the chat.
Oh, okay, good. Because I wasn't sure if you recorded it. You have the content of the chat room.
At least I've gotten it in the past.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me know. I will post and or paste it. You know, copy and paste it.
And I don't know what happened to Bulgaria, but they were supposed to be on today. They were going to present a couple of things, and I wish we could get school from Moscow back again because they always had Father Christmas or Father, whatever that guy's name was, Father North or whatever, dress up. That was always fun. So we will see you guys, and thank you so very much. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Yes, and we'll see you on January 25th.
Okay, January 26th. Thank you so much, guys.
25th.
Bye.
25th. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Share the Gmail address of the participants so that we can share our activities.
要不要先 mute 跟关话呢？